congratulations on making it onto Survivor 49. Disappointing ending, but you didn't expect to get on at all because you were an alternate. So
Yeah, I didn't expect to get on. It was a crazy experience. I was definitely like, I wasn't letting the alternate thing be like I was playing with house money. Like, no, I was trying to win. But it's still a great experience that I was able to play when I wasn't expecting to.
yeah, and I have to dive straight into tribal council and that live tribal council that you did. What did you say to Juwan? Give me verbatim everything you whispered to him, everything you said to everybody else. What happened?
Okay, so to tell you this, I have to back it up. Is that okay?
Yeah.
So, what I asked Jawan at Tribal Council starts with whenever Sophie told me that she was going to put a vote on Jawan if there was a tie. This did not sit well with me because I know that Nate had just gone home previously. I watched season 42 where there was multiple Black people on the jury in a row, and I know how that made me feel when I was watching it, and I did not want that to happen again. So when Sophie told me this information, I went to Jawan. I told him the same thing I just told you. I was like, hey, this is an out of game conversation that could ruin my game, but I feel like I have a duty to say this. So I told Jawan that I didn't want another black person going on the jury back to back. So still vote for Rizzo, but in the case that Rizzo plays his idol, I am not gonna vote with Sophie. I'm gonna vote against Sophie. I'm gonna vote with you, Jawan. So that's what I told him. I told him not to tell anyone, but he then went and told everybody, and it made it get messy. And I think that's probably what flipped the vote back on me. And so he told me that they were all voting for me. So at camp, I asked him, "Can you fight for me? I just helped you out. Can you try to get them to put the votes on somebody else like Sophie?" I had a plan of, I knew Rizzo and Savannah were going to put 2 votes on me at least. And I was like, okay, well, we can put 2 votes on Rizzo and then put 2 votes on Sophie. It would be a 2-2-2 tie. If Rizzo doesn't play his idol, then we would re-vote. And now we can all vote for Rizzo because he didn't play his idol. So that was my plan. And I asked him if he would do that. So at Tribal Council, I went to him and I was like, hey, is this still happening? He was like, no. And I was like, okay, well, I have one more big ask. Can you vote for Sophie? Can you at least vote for Sophie? And then maybe I can spook other people, one more person enough to also vote for Sophie. And then that would be 3 and she would go home. I would be safe another day. So that's what I told Jawan. And then with Rizzo and my whispers to Rizzo and Savannah, I was just trying to like spook them so that they thought like I had something or something that would make them put a vote on Sophie. And when I whispered to Sophie, I'm not sure if they showed that, but I whispered to her to make her feel okay and just make it seem like I was doing theatrics for the theatrics. So that's the full story.
And what did you whisper to Savannah and Rizzo? Do you remember?
I think I whispered to them. I was like, oh, I think I'm going to play my shot in the dark. So like just to make them nervous so that, if I did play my shot in the dark and I was safe, then the vote they'd have to re-vote and bounce it on somebody else. So I wanted them to just be worried enough that they would split their vote so that they weren't all going on me.
And then do you remember what you whispered to Sophie exactly? Was it a shot in the dark thing as well?
I think to Sophie, I was just saying, to Sophie, me and Sophie were both lying to each other and we're like, yeah, we're gonna vote Rizzo or something like that. And I think to Sophie, I was just saying, hey, I'm gonna like try to like confuse them. So she didn't know that I was whispering in all their ears to vote for Sophie. Something like that. Okay. Yeah.
And so then what did Jawan say to you when you two split after you said your big ask? What did he like? Did he agree? What did he say? Because then clearly something changed when he was talking to the other players in that live tribal.
I don't think he was ever going to help me. And so I think he may have been like, okay, but I'm assuming that he went to Rizzo and Savannah and was like, no, the plan is still the same. Like, we're still going to vote MC. I think Rizzo was worried. He was like asking Jawan if he should play his idol, which Jawan should have said yes. So yeah, I think it was just, that's what I'm assuming was the conversation.
Yeah, I mean, regardless of who was getting voted out, Jawan should have told Rizzo to play his idol.
Yes, but people don't think too clearly sometimes.
And especially not when you're hungry,
Yeah, when you're hungry and starving, when you're stressed, and yeah, when you don't want it to be you.
Yeah.
There's a lot of stress
And
there.
when there's a live tribal as well, it's chaos. It's hard to, I imagine it might be hard to zone in and focus, or maybe the adrenaline of a live tribal makes it easier. It sounds like you don't know now what Jawan said to the other players. It's still a compute.
I'm pretty sure that's what was said, because I also heard some things that was being whispered between them, and yeah, just
what did you hear?
Like Rizzo asking, like I remember seeing Rizzo looking like stressed and nervous, and so I'm pretty sure I heard him say like, should I play my idol? And Jawan was just, I think Jawan, and then this is me just assuming, I think Jawan was trying to calm Rizzo and let it be known that Jawan was on Rizzo's side. I think I'm assuming that's what Jawan wanted him to know.
Sure. And then did watching this episode back help you better understand your elimination at all?
No, I mean, I pretty much understood it. I knew what was happening. I knew that people were going for me because I was a physical threat. And I think what separated me from Sophie was that I just had more social ties. So I was a social threat as well. And I think that is what it came down to. It was interesting being able to see the conversations that happened after I spoke with Jawan. But I kind of already knew the tone of what was going on.
Right. And so had you made it past this elimination, what was your strategy for how you would move forward? And if you were going to end up who did you want in your final three if you were to make it there?
Yeah, if I was to make it past this elimination, like if it hadn't been us pulled to a separate beach, my goal was to find that idol again, because I knew that I needed it. And all of my allies were on the other beach, except for Sophie. So me and Sophie S, we were pitted against each other, but she was my ally. All my other allies, Christina, Steven, Alex, even Sophie B at this point, I don't think she was like fully on with Savannah and Rizzo. So I think I could have pulled her over. I would have loved final three to have been Hina. So if it could have been me, Steven, and Christina, that could have been awesome, or any variation of Hina, to be honest.
Yeah, and was Steven still your number one at this point, your closest ally? Who was your one?
Yeah, Steven was definitely still my number one. So that's why it was unfortunate on last week's episode when I had to find my idol, he was not there. And then also this week's episode, he was also not there. So that's, that was hard to do. And if I was to ever play again, I think when it came to the merge, I definitely was tired of having to socialize and to get to know people and to create new social bonds. So I was definitely relying on the ones that I already had. But if I was to ever play this game again, I would try to make new social bonds, because I think that can help carry you to the end of the game. But Steven was still definitely my number one.
And also this season had more you have to make new friends moments than every episode had a tribe swap. So
exactly one tribe swap, cool, but 2, 3, you tired of the get to know you game.
You're like, you know what? I'm not here to make friends.
Yeah,
not at all. Yeah, and tell me when you saw Savannah dive for that ring of keys.
Yeah,
what were you thinking?
I was like, this girl, does she really think she's going to get this? Even if she grabbed it, I would have snatched it right back from her.
Yeah, I mean, fight back.
Exactly. And it was just also so funny because I'm just like, wait, you don't even know what the keys go to, because the treasure chest was in my backpack, and I don't know what she was trying to achieve, but I applaud her for trying. But my blood was boiling. I was seeing red. I had I couldn't hear. There's just blood rushing in my ears, but I tried to stay as calm as possible.
Was it fun though? Because it's I imagine looking at each other and being like, oh, we're both going to dive for this right now. Then you have to dive. I would just be like, wait, this is really fun. I love this game.
Yeah. It's funny. I don't feel in the moment I felt like it was fun, but when I watched it back, I was like, why am I smiling? So I think in the moment I did was it was a little rush of adrenaline. This is what you're here for. You're here to play the game. So yeah, it was fun. I wanted to play the game. I wanted little crazy moments like that.
Yeah, totally. And what's your take on how Rizzo was able to flip the tide in his favor? Because it was gonna be him, and it was he convinced everybody to not vote for him, who no, everyone knew who was the biggest threat, you know?
For last week's episode or this week's episode?
This week's episode. So when Savannah arrives with this new advantage that gives her this power in tribal council, like Rizzo was kind of upstream without a paddle here, you know what I mean? And
yeah, no.
She arrived, they have this one conversation, and then he flips everything onto you and Sophie. So what was your reaction to that?
Honestly, I was confused because I was just like, the vote can still be the same. And that's what I was telling everybody. But I think people just started freaking out. I don't know. So I think people were worried about him playing his idol. And I don't know if they showed it, but I told people, I was like, he's not going to play his idol. He's not going to play it. And I think even after tribal council, there was a moment that wasn't shown, but I like patted him on the back because I was like, he keeps not playing this idol. Like I was like, in my head in that moment, I was like, if he makes it to final tribal council, I might vote for him because he keeps playing people with this idol. So I don't know why it spooks people. I think also Rizzo wasn't necessarily seen as a threat. Like he wasn't like a physical threat or anything like that. It was the idol that was making him a threat. So I think that's also a part of it. Maybe people just didn't feel like he needed to go home necessarily.
Do you think that after this episode, he's more of a strategic threat?
Possibly.
Yeah.
I guess people could see him that way. Yeah.
Yeah, because I mean, the way he was able to negotiate the vote off of him, you know, of course it wasn't guaranteed, but it was successful campaigning.
I want to give him his accolades because I do think he has a way with words and he can read people well. I think it's a combination of that and also other people just like freaking out and just not being good at strategizing. So he's good at strategizing, but other people are not so good. So the combination of it makes his strategizing look better. But I feel like he can read who is not good strategy wise. So yeah, definitely. I think that has some stuff to do with it.
He also had the benefit of his number one ally suddenly joining the strategy talks, you know, like that advantage helped only him in this group.
Yeah. No, it's really crazy how the cookies crumble. It can be, you know, a random advantage. It can be a random rock draw, a random buff draw. There's like so much random stuff that happens in Survivor that can lead to, you know, people winning.
Yeah, and you got to be able to think on your toes with that, you know. So you had, to wrap up, you had sensed that you might be, quote, blowing up the game by reading in Juwan, right? Do you think that you did in hindsight, and would you do anything differently if you could go back?
Yeah, in hindsight, I would not have told Juwan. Probably. Like, I probably still would have voted the same way. I would not have voted him out, but I would not have told Juwan. I think because the goal was literally Rizzo, and that was just like a backup thing if Rizzo played his idol. And obviously Rizzo did not play his idol last night. So yeah, I still stay true to what I did and what I like, the reason why I did it. I think a lot of people may not understand. And they're like, oh, it's a game for $1 million. It shouldn't be about race. But like when you are a person of color, when you're Black, like everything is about race. And yes, it's a game for $1 million. But I also just morally like could not have done that because, yeah, I just couldn't have. But yeah, if I could do it again, I would just have not told Juwan. I would have still voted the same though.
Yeah, and like there has been like a history of Black players being voted out consecutively in the show. Yeah. You know what I mean? So I totally get your mindset there.
Yeah. Consecutively, and you know, there's less Black people that do play this game, and representation matters. And I think it was so cool that there are so many Black people left in the game at this point too. So I'm not saying like all the Black people have to get to the end, you know, like obviously like I'm gonna vote you out so I can get to the $1 million. But I just feel like that was something that I needed to stand for because yeah, I didn't like how it made me feel when I watched season 42 for sure.
Yeah, for sure. And when you and Christina ended up on the same team, were you excited that it was like these two Black women?
Yes. I was like, oh, this is not intentional. It's only because I was the alternate, because they do not be putting two Black women on the same tribe. So yeah, that was awesome. I loved having Christina, and we definitely had bonds just being together as well, for sure.
Yeah, I'm happy both of you got to have that. And yeah, just to wrap up, what are you proudest of your performance in this season?
Huh, okay, what am I most proud of? I feel like there's so many things, but I just feel like Survivor is such a hard game, and I am proud of myself for like not giving up whenever it gets hard. Like that, the journey that I did do with Nate, like I just proved to myself that I was able to do more things than I originally thought I could, and not just that journey, but in general. And I'm proud of also how I treated people. I wanted to play a game I wanted to win $1 million, but I also feel like I was able to, be a competitor, but also treat people like human beings.
Yeah, I think that's my read of your performance as well. So,
Thank you. I
yeah.
appreciate that.
Oh, well, thank you so much for taking the time. And again, congrats on your season. I'm glad you made it to the jury.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Yeah, have a
Thanks.
great day.